Year history, the Steel and Engineering Industries Federation of South Africa, known as SEIFSA, has elected a female president for the first time. Angela Dick, the CEO and founder of Transman, has also been elected as chairperson of the board of directors. SEIFSA represents employers in the metal and engineering industries and lobbies for policies that are favourable to them. Dick arrives at a time when the metal and engineering sector in South Africa is under severe strain. The steel industry is suffering due to the slowdown in China. China has surplus steel after its construction boom ended, and cheap imports have crippled some providers here. Conditions in the manufacturing sector here at home also deteriorating. Steel, of course, used in mining, car production and construction activities. But given the slowdown, the scale of expected job losses in the steel sector, for example, has been called a bloodbath. Well, let's get her take on the challenges. I'm happy to be joined by Angela Dick now, the new CEO of SEIFSA. Great to have you with us. Angela, we have to talk about, because steel engineering linked to construction. Just a comment, it must be terrible news that a construction firm involved and the fatalities that we saw yesterday.
I think it's actually horrific for the industry, and I think there are many of us who are appalled by it. And obviously I cannot give you a technical explanation because I simply don't have that information. However, from a personal perspective, I think it's an absolute tragedy. And I'm really very sorry for the people involved. Do
you think that this will put standards in the spotlight? We know in South Africa there's a dearth of engineering talent, and this isn't something you can fast track. You can't make people engineers very quickly. So we have to keep the standards high and hopefully get more people in.
Absolutely. There's something like 31 short skills in the whole country, and of these 18 are in our industry, which is quite a frightening number to have a look at. And I think from the 10,500 registered professional engineers in this country, about 782 of these are actually female. But a lot of those females are lost because unfortunately it's not always a female-friendly environment to work in. However, I think we need to focus a lot more in terms of where are we going to get our talent from. Do we have children who can be trained ultimately to be responsible people? We're not doing an awful lot, I think, from the school level all the way through to encourage it.
The Reserve Bank governor, you've just made me think of something, the former Marcus, Jill Marcus said that, women aren't encouraged to go into the hard sort of financial, engineering, those sort of sectors. Do you think that's a problem, that women aren't encouraged, girls aren't encouraged?
Absolutely, but I think it's also a bit deeper than that, because from an educational level, I don't think, and you may think I'm a bit wrong saying this, but I don't think that the children in this country actually know what South Africa's business objectives are. And if you think about it, I don't think that many of us actually do. And unfortunately, the message is not driven down to the school level at a level they can actually understand. And from that perspective, one can encourage them in so many different ways, but we're not doing it very well, I'm afraid.
Could companies even get involved in that?
Absolutely.
Because everybody said there's a gap between what people are studying and what's needed out in the business world.
Absolutely, because for example, if you have a look at the general youngsters coming out of schools, they're expecting in essence to sit behind a computer, tap away at the keyboard, and that's in essence what they expect from a job. They don't really have a very good idea what the world of work is actually like. And I think that many organizations, not just our particular industry, need to actually get involved and show the children what actually is available out there. And if you think about it, for example, that if you have a PA, for example, a secretary, her first earning capacity will probably be 30 Rand, 35 Rand an hour, for example. However, if they go and train as artisans, the minimum wage is 110 Rand an hour. Huge difference, but it's seen as a dirty job. It's not seen as something positive, something to build the country, something to build the infrastructure.
You spoke about engineering not being seen as female friendly. You're not an engineer, but
no, not at all.
You're in this industry. Just give me your own experiences. I'm always torn between do we push the whole female issue or do we just move beyond it? Just tell me some of your personal experience.
I think the most important thing for me is that girls need to be taught to be confident in themselves and the things that they want to do. And I think they also need to have a much wider variety of opportunities and experiences presented to them. Because if you think about it, when you have a little child, little girl who has a birthday, what do you give her? Something soft and cuddly, something pretty, something to brush her hair with, decorations for her hair, so on and so forth. You don't give her a Meccano set or Lego. Why not?
And some little girls would love it.
Absolutely.
Right. In this environment, we know that the steel industry under a huge strain. Yes. A lot of talks going on between government, labour and business. This is a time when you need a strong voice. As a woman in this industry, do you believe you can have that now?
Absolutely. I've got no doubt whatsoever. I can certainly handle that, no problem.
Yeah. And will you receive the support that you need?
I hope so. It's my intention to visit all of the associations throughout the entire country before year end, speak to each one of those chairmen in the different sectors, find out specifically what their concerns are, both for the industry and obviously their own organisation. And there's going to be many, many different needs. And I think that together with government and obviously with labour and business, the three of us actually have to get together and create something new, something innovative, with a willingness to work together and share a common vision. Otherwise, it's not going to be very good for all of us. Well, and can I just expand a little on that?
Sure.
Because the industry actually employs about 220,000 people. You multiply that by 4 or 5 dependents, that's 1 million people who are affected on a daily basis by this industry. They have to earn money to support those people. If you have a look at our population, 54 million people, there's roughly about 13.9 million people supporting 54 million people. You cannot afford to lose this industry.
Well, what is the latest? Because there was a figure being bandied about 50,000 potential job losses. ArcelorMittal, a whole lot of companies announcing retrenchments. What are we looking at in terms of that jobs bloodbath right now?
I cannot give you an actual figure as far as that is concerned, but I do know that we are definitely going to be losing some jobs in the near future and for some time to come. It's an absolute tragedy because my whole life is focused on creating jobs and making sure people get employment. So for me, it's a personal issue. I want to make sure those people have security long term, and therefore I'll fight for this industry.
All right, well, I like the talk and congratulations. Thank you very much, Angela Dick, the incoming president.